Okay, with me now is the Heritage Foundation's Hans von Spakovsky. So can Hunter Biden be believed here? He's finally saying to CBS that, yes, quote, certainly the laptop at the center of multiple probes that Hunter talked about in December, that it could certainly be his. So Jonathan Turley pointed this out too, legal expert. He said, so Hunter can remember minor details from decades ago, but now suddenly has a revelation that, yeah, the laptop could be his after months of dodging it. You can't believe this guy here.
Yeah, look, he's just evading the truth. Really, he doesn't remember whether he dropped off that laptop at a repair shop or not. That's a little bit hard to believe. And as you know, in his recent book, he's not really giving any details about the laptop or the investigation that's currently going on of him by the Justice Department over possible tax evasion. And apparently a lot of that information came from that laptop.
Yeah, I mean, he signed a form at that repair shop. He signed it, and then it apparently had a sticker on it from the Beau Biden Foundation. So, I mean, so he's still dodging about it. But so if he can't remember details like that, why would you buy his book? If he can't remember stuff like that, why would anybody take it seriously enough to even buy his book? This is like James Comey. Remember James Comey going on and on saying, I don't recall, I don't recall. Well, if you don't recall, why would you buy your book, James Comey?
Well, look, I agree with that. And, you know, while he may be able to evade reporters' questions, if he is questioned directly by the federal agents, federal investigators on this, he's not going to be able to give that kind of an evasive answer. He's either going to have to give a yes or a no, or he's going to have to take the Fifth Amendment and give an answer one way or the other. You know, you could potentially lie to a reporter, not get in trouble. You cannot lie to a federal agent.
Hunter Biden launching his book tour in an interview, asked about a laptop that allegedly exposed the Biden family's efforts to exploit political connections. It was a case of I can neither confirm nor deny. Chief Breaking News correspondent Trace Gallagher is on the case, looking back at the facts as we know them so far. Good evening, Trace.
And good evening. Now that we have the major players on the record, here's a timeline on who said what. In the early fall, it was the New York Post that broke the story of the incriminating documents and emails found on what was said to be Hunter Biden's laptop. The story was then blocked on Facebook and Twitter because it, quote, violated Twitter's hacked materials policy. Of course, Twitter never provided any evidence the emails were hacked or was Russian disinformation. But in October, then candidate Joe Biden told 60 Minutes it was both Russian disinformation and a smear campaign. Yet the same month, then Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe knocked down Joe Biden's statement saying the laptop is not part of a Russian disinformation campaign, and the FBI and the Department of Justice agreed. But the media largely ignored the story, and so in late December, President-elect Joe Biden had this back and forth with Fox News correspondent Peter Doocy. Watch.
Mr. President-elect, do you still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation and a smear campaign, like you said?
Yes, yes, yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony.
Joe Biden's yes, yes, yes answer indicates extreme confidence. Yet now we know that Hunter Biden doesn't share that confidence. Watch.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know that's this is.
I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't know
yes
or no if the laptop.
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
Or it could be, as the man who turned over the computer said, that someone who looks very much like Hunter Biden dropped off the laptop to be fixed and never picked it up. Finally, NPR had reported the Biden laptop story was discredited by intelligence. Now, the taxpayer-funded network has issued a correction saying they were wrong. Shannon.
Trace Gallagher, out west. Thank you.
I'm Pam Bondi. Our party's theme tonight is America, the land of opportunity. And listening to the stories of discoveries and deliverance, you can't help but be proud to call this country home. But for Joe Biden, it's been the land of opportunism, not opportunity. As a career prosecutor and former Attorney General of Florida, I fought corruption, and I know what it looks like, whether it's done by people wearing pinstripe suits or orange jumpsuits. At the Democrats' convention, we were told to look at Joe Biden as the model of integrity. But when you look at his 47-year career in politics, the people who benefited are his family members, not the American people. Let's take a closer look. We all know about Joe's son, Hunter Biden. A corrupt Ukrainian oligarch put Hunter on the board of his gas company, even though he had no experience in Ukraine or in the energy sector. None. Yet he was paid millions to do nothing. He only had one qualification that mattered. He was the son of the man in charge of distributing U.S. aid to Ukraine. And recently reported information revealed that a few months after Hunter Biden joined that corrupt company's board, the Obama-Biden State Department began doing business with them, even when it remained under investigation for corruption. And it gets worse. That very same company was being investigated by a Ukrainian prosecutor. Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States, threatened to withhold aid to Ukraine unless that same prosecutor was fired. And then he was fired. Hunter only resigned from that board just before his dad announced his campaign for president. Now let's talk about China. Fact, Joe Biden flew to China on Air Force Two with Hunter along for the ride. They said he was just there as a family member, but we know that's untrue. In Beijing, Hunter didn't just go sightseeing. He had meetings with his Chinese bank partners. Hunter even arranged for his dad to meet with one of the partners. 10 days later, those Chinese communist bankers approved millions to go to Hunter's firm. And those bankers work for the Chinese Communist Party, which oppresses their people, cheated American workers for decades, and covered up a deadly virus. To this day, Hunter controls a 10% stake in that firm. And Joe Biden's done more than look the other way on China. He said, "The Chinese aren't our competition. Come on, man, they're not bad folks." Come on, Joe. Talk to the folks in Middle America who lost countless jobs to China while your son was getting rich with them. But there's more. Fact. There have been numerous press reports that have shown other close Biden family members benefited from Joe's 47-year political career. Joe Biden was point person on Iraq. The president of a construction firm met with Biden's team in the White House, and then who did they hire to build thousands of houses in Iraq? Joe Biden's close family member, who, you guessed it, had no experience in the industry and no experience in Iraq. A company official bragged that it helps to have a family member, the vice president, as partner. The family member put it more bluntly by saying, "There's a line of 747s filled with cash ready to invest." Now let's follow the money down south. Again, as reported in the press, yet another close family member of Joe's set his sights on Costa Rica and Jamaica, where millions of dollars flowed from the Obama-Biden administration in taxpayer-backed loans to projects linked to, yes, that same family member. These aren't isolated incidents. It is a deliberate pattern of conduct. And that's just what he did as vice president. Imagine what he'd do as president. How many American families would be allowed to get away with this? Why should there be one standard for the elite political class and another set of rules for the rest of us? When millions of Americans voted for Donald Trump, they knew he'd be different, and he is. He's a tough, no-nonsense outsider who can't be bought or intimidated. He won't even take a paycheck from the American people. He donates his paycheck to charities across this country. Democrats have been lecturing America about integrity for 4 years, while their nominee has been writing the textbook on abuse of power for 40 years. If they want to make this election a choice between who's saving America and who's swindling America, bring it on. Joe says he'll build back better. Yeah, build the Bidens back better. Our president is in this to build a safer, better, and stronger America, and he will finish what he started to keep this a real land of opportunity for everyone. If you want to check your voting status, secure your ballot, or register to vote, text VOTE to 88022. Remember, the best is yet to come.